Part 1. Timeline of the Commonwealth and Kingdom of Australia. The following is a historical timeline, compiled predominantly using information gathered by Steven Spiers. It is condensed from 3 white papers that form a 530-page document. These white papers were compiled over about 10 years, using historical information, international treaties, and Acts of Parliament. Credit is given to the body of work Steven has on his website, and the in-depth discoveries he and others have made. 1775–1783, the American Revolutionary War for Independence from the Kingdom of Great Britain, with both sides borrowing heavily from foreign banks to sustain the 8 years of fighting. 1812, war was declared against the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland by the United States, lasting 2 years and involving more borrowing from the banks. 1814, the above war led to the signing of the Treaty of Ghent, Treaty of Peace and Amity between the United States and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. 1861, the United States of America went into bankruptcy when it failed to repay the debts owed to the world banks accumulated after the War for Independence and the War of 1812, and the Lincoln administration was put in place as a bankruptcy administration over the United States of America by the world banks. During the American Civil War and the subsequent occupation by the Union Army, the Lincoln administration installed martial law and commissioned Francis Lieber to write the instructions for the government of the Armies of the United States Corporation in the Field General Orders No. 100, the 24th of April 1863. After the war and the installation of Abraham Lincoln as president of the incorporated body that is the United States today, which is controlled by the world banks due to the debts owed and under the authority of the Roman Catholic Church, the Lieber Code remained in effect as the rules of engagement of the Lincoln administration's armed forces. This remains in place through the United States Army Field Manual FM 2470 to this day.
The Lieber Code. Number 1. General Orders No. 100. The Lieber Code detailed the limitation of the Lincoln administration upon the civilians of the battlefield which he oversaw. The Lieber Code, Article 26, describes how the takeover of the People's Court in America was achieved, changing their allegiance to the occupier as citizens of the administration, which classified the people as belligerent, disloyal to their own country, and as citizens, the people placed themselves into admiralty jurisdiction. This will later play a major part in doing the same under martial law in the Commonwealth of Australia. Number 2. The Royal Assent of Queen Victoria to the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution of 1900, UK/PGA, was signed on the 9th of July 1900. The Act provided for the creation of the Commonwealth of Australia to become law, enacting the Australian Constitution and the founding of the Commonwealth. An opportunity to keep the money lenders out of the country, giving the people ownership of the Commonwealth of Australia and our right to self-determination, but still under her imperial Tudor crown, the People's Crown. Number 3. 1901 to 1903. The Australian Red Ensign was generally referred to as the merchant flag of the Commonwealth of Australia. After the initial competition design, there was a slight change to the large star on the flag, and then in 1903, a federal red ensign was warranted and gazetted as our King's land flag and the flag of the people.
The Hague Conventions in 1899 and 1907. 1899 initial meeting in The Hague, Netherlands, to discuss specific topics regarding warfare. 1907 again, the proposal for the limitation of armaments was not accepted. The conference did, however, adopt several conventions relating to such matters as the employment of force for the recovery of contract debts. This effectively gave the world banks the right to use military force to seize and militarily occupy all the dominions within the Commonwealth. 1908, the Great White Fleet of the United States Navy sailed around the world under the guise of a goodwill tour, but in reality, they were seizing all dominions and territories and self-governing colonies belonging to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, including the Commonwealth of Australia under treaty, simply by flexing their military might, with no resistance at all. In fact, the people were unaware. The people were also unaware, and most still are, due to being militarily occupied under Hague 4, under the rules of war and Labour Code Article 1, martial law is in place, suspending all domestic law and forcing the courts to change their allegiance to Admiralty law. This is still in place today. Labour Code Article 1, a place, district, or country occupied by an enemy stand in consequence of the occupation, under the martial law of the invading or occupying army, whether any proclamation declaring martial law, or any public warning to the inhabitants, has been issued or not. Martial law is the immediate and direct effect and consequence of occupation or conquest. The presence of a hostile army proclaims its martial law. Usufruct. The occupier also has a right under the rules of usufruct to recover the debt. As we continue in Part 2 of Timeline of the Commonwealth and Kingdom of Australia.